Welcome back to the League Digest. Last week we took the week off to visit the Rift Rivals tournament in Sydney between the OPL, the JPL and Southeast Asia. I had a great time watching the OPL take the trophy home, and I got to meet a lot of cool people while I was there as well. We'll be posting a vlog for my trip to Sydney in the coming weeks. Anyway, this week we talk about the state of Aatrox and how he's performed in Rift Rivals across the globe. Then we move on to drama in 100 Thieves with Meteos being traded to another team, and the questions that this sort of incident raises. And lastly, we refresh our standings predictions for the NALCS between the League Digest staff. I'm Sushix with the League Digest. Let's talk. With Rift Rivals over, competitive play had the pleasure of trying out the new Aatrox during the tournament. It gave us a taste of what could be a huge shift in the top lane and mid lane meta. The question is, what role does he fill on a professional team as the game scales towards a more team-oriented playstyle in the mid to late game? As a champion, Aatrox is a huge contrast in comparison to his role in his previous form. Back then, he was a split-pushing monster meant to disrupt the backline by diving in and sustaining as best he could. Now, his new iteration focuses more on being a huge teamfight presence with dueling capabilities in lane. He has a large enough CC zones where he can catch carries on the edge of his hitbox and disrupt them long enough to stall their damage and force them onto him. If Aatrox manages to hit all three sweet spots, the carries are as good as dead. His W has the ability to chain to either a carry or a frontline champion and force them to flash or use dash or risk being pulled back into the enemy team. Combine this with the mobility and healing from his E, and you have a champion capable of zoning and killing the backline while also preventing the front line from massacring your own team. And if you do manage to take him down, his new ultimate revives him so long as he's ascended, and increases his revive health the longer that he has it activated. So, how does an ideal teamfight look for a team with Aatrox? It's pretty easy. Say Aatrox's team is doing Baron, and the enemy team collapses from blue buff's entryway. Pop your ultimate as soon as they commit, throwing out your W onto whoever's closest to force them back into the ring. Start the animation for your first Q and dash forward to hit the backline. Then, throw out an auto attack to reduce the healing and shielding on the most relevant target to deny. Follow through with an animation cancelling second Q to knock up the backline yet again, auto attacking and animation cancelling yet again to set up your third Q. Dash forward with it to be sure the center of the circle hits the same targets as the first two Qs for bonus damage. If you get taken down, just use the moments of invulnerability to decide if your team needs you to continue to commit in the fight or if you should try and escape. While every teamfight won't be exactly the same, it's just a scene-by-scene breakdown of a teamfight RNG used against Kingzone Dragon X and caused the game-winning push. Had Aatrox not disrupted the three members of Kingzone, the rest of the team would have died from the massive damage coming out from Talia and Draven inside the Baron pit. Instead, he managed to deny their damage and burst them down enough to kill off Draven by himself. Taking a look at the statistics, we're going to focus on two Rift Rivals tournaments in particular, that being the NA vs EU tournament and the LPL vs the LCK vs the LMS tournament. Aatrox played a huge part in these tournaments, even going as far as to have a 100% pick ban rate in the NA and EU Rift Rivals event. In that tournament, he boasts a 100% win rate over 4 games, all being picked by EU in the top lane. That said, in the LCK, LMS and LPL tournament, he didn't have quite as much priority, as he was only picked in 7 games and had a 71% win rate. Still pretty impressive. Surprisingly enough, the Smite mid Aatrox strategy got used only once and suffered a harsh loss, while a standard lane Summoner spell has a 100% win rate in mid lane over 3 games. After seeing how the new Aatrox plays out in competitive play, what do you guys think about his prevalence? Are pro players just unprepared to handle his new kit, or is he so strong that he's now defining the new meta? Let us know in the comments down below. Moving on, earlier this month, controversy swept through the League of Legends scene, with 100 Thieves deciding to trade off Meteos to FlyQuest in return for Ander in the jungle. Without any official announcement of the swap from either team, the only information given was from a deleted tweet from Meteos straight after hearing the news. Just got word that my contract was traded to FlyQuest and that FlyQuest does not have an available starting position. I'm not interested in playing in Academy, so not sure what I'm going to be doing going forward. He quickly removed this tweet at the request of FlyQuest, as this trade had already been completed. It was a heat of the moment tweet, and he has admitted that it was a bit unprofessional on his part. This wasn't without reason. However, a decision had already been finalized days in advance, and he hadn't been informed about it until days later, notably on the same day 100 Thieves went 2-0 with him as their jungler. It was likely that he wasn't informed about the swap sooner in fear that it might affect his performance in the coming games. And with 100 Thieves seeing Rift Rivals as the perfect time to execute the change. Although he had been informed that he wasn't going to be on the starting roster for Rift Rivals, he was searching around for a starting position on another team if anything. An official statement was released around 14 hours later by 100 Thieves, clearing up the facts of the case. We spoke with Meteos about the trade yesterday evening prior to executing the trade. He talked to FlyQuest about the opportunity with them and shared his thoughts on social media. The primary controversy seems to be the lack of communication between teams and players. Despite his place in the contract saying that players can be traded by organization discretion, it was under full awareness from 100 Thieves that Meteos only planned on playing an LCS starting position and not on an academy team, which is where he ended up. There is concern towards the way the organization approached the situation, as Meteos had to move out the next day towards the new team. This issue could potentially be brought up by the NALCS Players Association, which we've briefly discussed in an earlier video. Regardless, it'll be interesting to see how 100 Thieves performs for the remainder of the split and whether or not the issue will be discussed further. Moving on to our last story today, we're going to be talking about the League Digest's very own predictions for the NALCS Summer Split and following up on our previous predictions that we had in an earlier video. Before the start of the NALCS 2018 Summer Split, the League Digest team made their predictions on the power rankings of each of the teams in the NALCS. We're going to take a moment to revisit them and provide an update on how well we're doing. To start off, my power rankings included Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, and Echo Fox in the top 3 positions, with the top 6 ending with Cloud9, TSM, and Clutch Gaming. While most of these positions seem accurate, I don't think anyone could have predicted what happened with Cloud9. Also, it's noted that in my previous prediction, I put TSM as number 5. I used to be a TSM fanboy for the past few years, but this year I felt a little bit let down and like I didn't know the team. So I put them at number 5, and I did so wrongingly. TSM are looking really good coming into the summer split. With Grig as their jungler, they seem a lot more stable. That said, all of us here at the League Digest put Team Liquid as the number 1 team, and they are continuing to reign supreme over the NALCS. Echo Fox are also looking quite good sometimes, but they're very unpredictable. So we could see them right at the top in the finals, or in 6th place. Lastly, it's worth mentioning that we also have some hope for Clutch Gaming and CLG that both had great games this split already and could make a run for playoffs. Unfortunately, that's all we have for today's episode of the League Digest. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell button to make sure you get a notification next time we upload a video. Also, don't forget to like the video and comment down below, let us know your thoughts and feedback on the series and everything we covered in today's episode. Lastly, if you'd like to support us even more, we have a Patreon in the description down below and social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram that we love to share all of our thoughts with you guys. I'm Sushix with the League Digest, and I'll talk to you guys later.